These are some of my best small Warzone tips that could dramatically improve your game. What's up guys, it's Average Owl, making average content for the average viewer, and today I wanted to bring you a Warzone tips video, but instead of making this about some big Modern Warfare Warzone tip or strategy, I thought I'd give you guys some tips that you might not know yet that you can use every single game and might really save your arse in a pinch. Before we get on with it, let's see if we can hit 30 likes on today's video, and if you're new here and you like Warzone tips and tricks alongside a nerdy ginger bearded dude in his 20s, then it would be awesome if you'd subscribe. So let's talk about it. Warzone has been out for a while now, and to be honest, a lot of the Warzone tips videos that you will see all cover the big picture stuff like how to get more wins or how to drop high kill games in Warzone. But not many of them are about just giving some quality of life tips that are small but can help you so much when the opportunity arises. So here we go. Number 1. Killstreaks. Okay, so by now you are all familiar with the killstreaks that you can buy within the game, and if you're anything like me, you'll always be way more tempted to buy a UAV over the cluster strike or the precision airstrike because on the face of things it seems to be way more useful and you get to see instant results. But today I want to talk to you about the unsung hero of the killstreaks department, and that is the shield turret. No, obviously I'm joking. The shield turret is about as useful in Warzone as a salad is from McDonald's. Now today, I want to talk to you about the hidden utility of both the cluster strike and the precision airstrike. So obviously, both of these offer the use of some sort of air-to-ground airstrike, which by itself, of course, is very useful. But I want to talk to you about the other uses that you might not have thought about and might make you think twice before choosing a UAV over them. First of all, with both of these items equipped in your hand, you can actually run at 100% movement speed, which means that if, like most people, you are running an overkill class with a fully kitted M4 and a sniper rifle or rocket launcher, if you have a cluster strike in your hand, you'll be able to run just as fast as someone with no stock MP7 or a pistol. This can be especially useful if you are running out of the storm after a gunfight that has taken a little longer than anticipated. There's nothing more frustrating than not quite being able to outrun the storm and then coming 20th with 12 kills after doing your best impression of Coffin from Pokemon. Another bit of value that can be found out of the precision airstrike in particular is to use it as a pair of binoculars. This will allow you to keep your main SMG or assault rifle with their iron sights and make them more geared toward close quarter fights, but still have the option to scope out an area from a safe distance without baiting the shit out of yourself with the scope glint from your sniper. Just some things to think about when you find one in a crate or if the rest of your team already have UAVs, especially in the late game when more than likely half of the remaining people will already have Ghost. Number 2. The heartbeat sensor. It's no secret by now that probably the most useful and popular tactical in Warzone is the heartbeat sensor. Now, I know that now people are running Ghost more, that in certain situations the heartbeat sensor may not always be the best play, and sometimes a smoke or a gas grenade might be better, but I just want to give you a couple little tips about the heartbeat sensor. First of all, I've heard a few people say when playing with them that the distance you see at the bottom of the sensor shows the enemy's elevation in relation to yours, but I just want to confirm that this is not the case. The exclusive Ace has recently done a very in-depth video about this piece of equipment, and if you're familiar with his work, you'll know that he is extremely reliable. Anyway, he says that the heartbeat sensor always works on a 2D plane, meaning that the distance it reads only shows you how far away the enemy is horizontally. So if it says that they are 10 meters away, this only means that they are 10 meters in front of you and doesn't take into account whether they are above you or below you. Now second, whilst we're talking about this, it's important to note that when scanning with the heartbeat sensor, it takes a full 4 seconds from the start of one scan to the start of the second. However, you can cut this time in half by simply putting it away and then pulling it straight back out after. But in addition to this, you don't actually have to wait until you see the dot appear for you to get the information you need out of this. This is because if someone is in front of you, then you will see the distance appear instantly. So this means if you pull the heartbeat sensor out and then you don't see any number appear, then there is no need to continue with the full scan. Number 3. Parachute. So I did debate a bit about whether or not I should put this in the video, as I thought that most people probably already know this by now. But after playing with some people recently and getting fed up with hearing, "Oh mate, I'm not gonna make it," down the mic and having to land somewhere more barren than Mo Farah's biscuit tin, so I thought that I would just reiterate the absolute most efficient way to drop over longer distances in Warzone. So first of all, if you are dropping literally the whole way across the map, the only way that you're going to have a chance of doing this is by deploying your parachute straight away. But most of the time that we see this problem is when dropping say 2/3 of the way across the map, and more often than not your teammates fall short and you have to end up landing somewhere with one shed to loot between 3 of you. In these situations, to get the furthest possible while still getting to the ground in a reasonable time, what you will want to do is pull your chute as soon as you can and immediately cut it. This will draw your pistol and give you a bit more forward momentum. Then, keep an eye on the speed bar to the right of your screen. Now every time that you see that speed bar hit about 40 or 50 miles an hour, you should pull your chute and cut it again. Now obviously this isn't going to be a one size fits all method, but at least this will allow you to make your own micro adjustments and hopefully be able to make it to your designated LZ more often than not. Number 4. Rotations. First of all, what the hell are rotations? For those of you who haven't played many battle royales in the past, then a rotation is basically just a fancy way of saying a way to maneuver around the zone. Now what you'll tend to find is that some people love to land dead center in the circle. There are 2 types of people that tend to do this most. On the one hand, you have the super sweaty crackhead 8 lines of G-Fuel for breakfast hardcore gamers that want nothing more than to just run around like a madman, jump shotting everyone and racking up high kill games. And on the other hand, you have noobs who just want to land, loot and traverse the map heading to the center of each new circle. Now, I have been watching a YouTuber by the name of Iceman Isaac who has recently shot up from about 20k subscribers to over 80 in about a week. And there is a very good reason for this. His content is actually amazing. I'll put a link to the specific video that I'm going to talk about down in the description, but definitely check it out. It really is amazing. But basically, he uses a technique that he calls the pinwheel technique, and after a few times trying it in solos, I can 100% say that it works like a charm. So just briefly, he says that the best way to both optimize your chances of reaching the end game every game as well as getting a healthy amount of kills is to always land just outside of the circle. Then, as the gas is coming in, you should stay about 20 seconds ahead of it whilst rotating around the edge of the next zone. In squads, you can do this with one member of the team looking into the zone trying to see anyone who is trying to gatekeep, whilst the other 2 are looking ahead for people that are running straight to the zone, allowing you to get some really easy kills. This works because as you rotate around, you are essentially covering large amounts of ground, so you know 2 things. First thing is that no one is going to T-bone you from the gas because you would have seen them earlier, and second, you aren't likely to get snuck up on as you have just cleared the area behind you. Trust me, this strategy works so well it's unreal, but I would seriously recommend going to watch his video as it goes into a hell of a lot more depth. Number 5. Random loadouts aren't. Right. So we have all been there. You've had a few scrappy fights at the beginning of a match, a couple of your teammates have died, so you have to buy them back, and it's taken you a little while for you to be able to afford your first loadout drop. Now how many times have you just bought your loadout drop and then a seemingly random one drops from the sky seconds after? Well, guess what? These drops are not random at all and will always drop at exactly the same point every single map. So the first one will always drop about 15 seconds or so before the first circle finishes closing in, and the second one will always drop in the 5th stage about 45 seconds before the gas starts coming in, so when the timer on the left hand side of the screen is still white. It is so useful to make sure that you memorize these, as it could potentially save you 10 grand that you could have spent on a UAV to help you get better map position. So there we have it, some little Modern Warfare Warzone tips that I believe could help you a hell of a lot. I really hope that you found some value from at least a couple of them. Right, so if you've watched these videos before, you'll know that I love to see who sticks around until the end. So if you're still here, I'd like you to let me know by answering this question down below. What is your favourite place to drop in Warzone, and which is your worst? Anyway, that's it from me today. I'm Average Joel. Peace.